The story begins with a young boy named Elio Solis, a dreamer who has always felt like an outsider in his own world. Elio is a boy with a vivid imagination and a deep fascination with the cosmos. A passion that sets him apart from his peers and often makes him the target of their ridicule. He spends his days gazing at the stars, listening to ham radio signals, and dreaming of a life beyond the confines of his small, ordinary existence. His parents were astronauts who tragically died, leaving him in the care of his aunt, a no-nonsense woman who loves him deeply but struggles to connect with his boundless imagination and unconventional ways. Elio's aunt, a dedicated and hard-working woman, has sacrificed her own dreams of becoming an astronaut to raise him, and she does her best to provide him with a stable and loving home. Even as she often finds herself frustrated by his eccentricities and his refusal to conform to societal expectations, she worries about him constantly, fearing that his head is too far in the clouds, that he will never be able to navigate the harsh realities of the world, and that he will always be alone. Elio's life is a series of attempts to fit in, to be normal, to make his aunt proud. But no matter how hard he tries, he always seems to be on the outside looking in. He is bullied at school by kids who don't understand him, who mock his interests and his quirks, who see him as an easy target. He is misunderstood by his teachers, who view him as a distraction and a troublemaker, a boy who doesn't pay attention in class and who asks too many questions. He often feels like a burden to his aunt, who has given up so much for him, and who he fears secretly resents him for holding her back. Elio feels a profound sense of loneliness, a crushing weight of isolation that makes him feel like he is the only person in the world who sees the universe the way he does, a feeling that there is no place for him in this world, that he is destined to be alone, that he will never find anyone who truly understands him. One night, while experimenting with his ham radio, Elio intercepts a strange signal from deep space. The signal is a response to the Voyager Golden Record, a message humanity sent into the cosmos decades ago, a collection of sounds, images, and greetings from Earth. A message in a bottle meant to be discovered by someone, somewhere, in the vastness of space. Elio is convinced that this is proof of extraterrestrial life, that someone, somewhere, is trying to make contact with Earth, that they have received humanity's message and are responding. He is thrilled and terrified, believing that this is the answer to his prayers, the validation he has been seeking his entire life, the proof that he is not crazy, that there is something out there, and that he is not alone. Elio's attempts to share his discovery with the world are met with skepticism and ridicule. His aunt dismisses his claims, telling him that he is imagining things, that he is letting his imagination run away with him, that there is no such thing as aliens. His peers mock him, calling him crazy and making fun of his alien obsession. And even the scientists at the nearby base refuse to take him seriously, dismissing his signal as a glitch, a malfunction, a figment of his overactive imagination. Elio is devastated, but he refuses to give up. He knows what he heard, and he is determined to prove that he is not crazy, that there is something out there, and that he is not alone. He believes that if he can just find proof, if he can just make contact, everything will change, and he will finally be accepted, finally be understood. Then, one night, Elio is abducted by aliens. He is taken aboard a massive spaceship, a glittering, otherworldly vessel that defies all human understanding. A structure of impossible geometry and shimmering light that seems to exist outside the laws of physics. The aliens are not the terrifying monsters of science fiction. They are a diverse and fascinating collection of creatures from across the cosmos, each with their own unique appearance, culture, and abilities. They are members of the Communiverse, a pangalactic organization of advanced species who have come together to share knowledge, innovation, and friendship. A place where beings from countless worlds gather to learn from one another and to celebrate the beauty and diversity of the universe. The Communiverse is a place of wonder and discovery. A place where anything seems possible, a place where Elio feels, for the first time in his life, that he might truly belong. Elio is initially terrified. But he quickly realizes that the aliens are not hostile. They are curious about him, about Earth, and about the message he sent. They believe that Elio is the leader of Earth, and they are eager to welcome him into their fold. Elio, desperate for acceptance and validation, does not correct them. He embraces the role, pretending to be the leader of his planet, hoping that this will be the place where he finally belongs, where he will be accepted for who he is, where he will finally find his purpose. He is afraid that if he tells them the truth, they will reject him, that he will be cast out once again, that he will be alone forever. Elio is introduced to the wonders of the Communiverse. He meets a liquid supercomputer named a being of pure energy and intelligence who serves as the Communiverse's central processor and guide. He meets Questa, a telepathic being who can read minds and see into the depths of a person's soul. He meets Naus, a flamboyant creator who designs the Communidiscs, the universal translators and control devices that allow beings from different worlds to communicate and interact. He meets a host of other incredible beings, each with their own unique talents and perspectives, each with their own stories and their own dreams. He is given a translator disc that allows him to understand and speak all known languages, and he is shown the marvels of their technology, from gravity control to matter manipulation, from teleportation to the creation of entire worlds. Elio is overwhelmed by the beauty and strangeness of it all, and he feels a sense of belonging that he has never felt before. He is finally among his own kind, among beings who understand him, who appreciate his curiosity, who see the universe the way he does. He is finally home. But his joy is short-lived. The Communiverse is threatened by a brutal warlord named Lord Grigon, the Blood Emperor of Hylerg, who covets the Communiverse's power and wants to conquer it by force. Grigon is a terrifying figure, a creature of immense strength and fury who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals, a being who has conquered countless worlds and who is driven by a burning desire for power and domination. He is a towering figure of muscle and armor, a warrior who has never known defeat, a tyrant who rules through fear and violence. The Communiverse is unable to defeat him, and they are on the verge of collapse. They are a peaceful organization, a collection of scientists and scholars, of artists and philosophers. And they are no match for the brute force and relentless aggression of Grigon's armies. Elio, believing that he can save the day, volunteers to negotiate with Grigon. He is terrified, but he is also determined. He wants to prove his worth, to show that he is more than just a scared little boy, that he has the courage and the cunning to stand up to a tyrant. He believes that if he can defeat Grigon, he will earn the respect and admiration of the Communiverse, and he will finally find his place in the universe, a place of honor and purpose. He convinces himself that this is his destiny, that this is the moment he has been waiting for his entire life. Elio's negotiations with Grigon are a disaster. Grigon is a master of intimidation and manipulation, and he quickly sees through Elio's bravado. He captures Elio and threatens to destroy the Communiverse if his demands are not met. Elio is imprisoned, and he fears that he has doomed everyone, that his arrogance and his desperate need for validation have cost the Communiverse everything. He is filled with shame and regret. And he believes that he has failed, that he is a fraud, that he will never be anything more than a lonely little boy who dreamed too big. But Elio is not alone. He befriends Glordon, Grigon's son. a lonely and neglected child who is desperate for his father's love. Glordon is a gentle soul who has been forced into a life of violence and conquest, and he longs for a different path. A life of peace and friendship, a life where he can be himself. He is tired of the endless wars and the constant pressure to be a warrior, and he dreams of a world where he can explore, learn, and make friends. Elio and Glordon form a bond, a friendship that transcends their differences and their circumstances. They are both outcasts, both searching for a place to belong, both yearning for acceptance and love. They share their fears, their hopes, and their dreams, and they discover that they are not so different after all. Together, Elio and Glordon hatch a plan to escape. They create a clone of Glordon using Communiverse technology, and they send the clone back to Grigan, hoping to fool him into thinking that his son has returned. The plan works, and Grigan is tricked into leaving the Communiverse, believing that he has his son back and that the threat is over. Elio is relieved, and he believes that he has finally succeeded, that he has saved the Communiverse and earned his place among them. But the deception is short-lived. Grigan discovers the truth, and he returns to the Communiverse with a vengeance. He captures Elio and Glordon, and he threatens to destroy them both. Elio is forced to confront his greatest fear, the fear that he is not enough, that he is a failure, that he will never find his place in the world. He is terrified, but he knows that he cannot give up, that he has to fight for his friends and for the Communiverse. In the final confrontation, Elio finds the courage to stand up to Grigan. He tells Grigan that he is wrong about his son, that Glordon is not a failure, and that he loves him. He appeals to Grigan's love for his son, and he shows him that Glordon is not meant to be a war machine, but a person who needs his father's love and acceptance. Grigan is moved by Elio's words, and he realizes that he has been wrong about his son and about himself. He releases Elio and Glordon, and he agrees to leave the Communiverse in peace. Elio is hailed as a hero. He has proven that he is not a failure, that he has the courage to do what is right, and that he belongs in the universe. He is offered a place in the Communiverse, a chance to live among the stars and explore the cosmos. But Elio makes a surprising choice. He decides to return to Earth. He realizes that Earth is his home, that his aunt loves him, and that he has a place in this world. He has found his purpose, not in the stars, but in the love of his family. He has learned that the universe is vast and filled with wonders, but that the greatest wonder of all is the love of family and friends. He returns to Earth, a changed boy, more confident, more self-assured, and more grateful for the life he has. Elio reconciles with his aunt, and he embraces his future, knowing that he is not alone, and that he is loved. He has learned that the universe is vast and filled with wonders, but that the greatest wonder of all is the love of family and friends. He looks up at the stars, and he smiles, knowing that he is part of something bigger than himself, and that he will always be connected to the cosmos, to the Communiverse, and to the friends he made along the way. He is Elio Solis, and he is not alone.